Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit meets school principals as part of education reform mission. Cabinet approves St. Lucian as new CEO of Dominica China Friendship Hospital. And 10 students graduate from the Dominica Community High School. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you go out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand. That's what I think. We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has met with principals of secondary schools in his quest for education reform. Prime Minister Skerrit has called for education reform in the region as part of efforts to combat crime and violence. Prime Minister Skerrit says the meeting held on Monday was very important.
I've started a series of consultations with various stakeholders, along with the Minister for Education and the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education. So today we met with all principals of all schools, both government schools and government-assisted schools, and a very constructive engagement. And clearly, I believe that we are all aligned in respect of the need for there to be some kind of reform. So it's a matter for now for us to define the various elements of that reform effort. But it was very constructive engagement, and certainly some very good points came forward.
The Dominican leader says consultations will continue with other stakeholders.
We're going to be meeting primary school principals, then we'll be meeting representatives of Parent Teachers Association across the country, meeting with the church, especially those who manage schools, meeting with students as well, the private sector. So the idea is to solicit from everybody their support to that effort. And of course, we intend to engage a consultancy firm who will help with the national discussion and consultations and recommendations. But we also will put in place a national advisory board made up of principals, students, and the various groups in society who will assist with that.
We'll hear from principals of secondary schools in a subsequent newscast. St. Lucia National Nancy Francis has been approved by Cabinet as the new CEO at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit believes Dominicans who complain about the service delivery at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital are not taking into account the country's advancement in the health sector. The Prime Minister told a recent press conference that there was a lot of progress made in health that Dominicans ought to be thankful for.
Where we are at the hospital has been a dramatic change from the Princess Margaret Hospital to now. I think, and when people criticize this, the delivery of services, I believe that the vast majority of doctors are diligent in their services. I believe the vast majority of nurses are diligent in their services. You'll always find one or two people with an attitude. It might be a domestic problem they have. It might be they slip wrongly. They may be on the shift for a long time and several people come in and they become anxious and so forth. You understand? And some of them might just have an intrinsic negative attitude. But you can't blame me for that.
The Prime Minister believes the public needs to be presented with more factual information about the delivery of healthcare services offered not only at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, but across the country. The Prime Minister says, sadly, facilities were not managed properly in Portsmouth, resulting in the X-ray machine there no longer being operational.
Because my vision was that the now Dominica China Friendship Hospital would have been more of a secondary and tertiary institution. And so if I am from Penville and I have a fracture, there's no need for me to come to Rosa to get an X-ray done. It could be done in Portsmouth. If I'm from Wesley or Marigot, I don't need to come to Rosa to get an X-ray done. It can be done in Portsmouth. And we bought, with the financing of the government of Venezuela, President Hugo Chavez, we bought some of the most advanced medical and diagnostic equipment. They're all made in Germany, which is one of the top manufacturers of medical equipment. So they were not little cheap things, top of the line equipment.
The idea, he says, was to have the Venezuelan government provide all the medical supplies. The intention was to have several polyclinics across Dominica. He says that's why the Cubans were brought in to train as many as 100 Dominican nurses to counteract the brain drain. 82 out of a cohort of 100 graduated.
To counteract the recruitment of our nurses by the Treasury, Her Majesty's Treasury of the UK government and the US Treasury. We can't compete with them. These are the kind of things that we've been doing. So, and I think too that this government has a plague because the government is not telling people enough of what it has been doing for this country. And so the people who say, no, nothing has been done, or scared not doing nothing, no. People need to, those of us who are 23 years or older, must reflect on where this country was when I became Prime Minister of this country. And where it is today. Notwithstanding all of these natural disasters, notwithstanding all of the pandemic, all of the external shocks that we've had in the economy, here we are today.
A total of 10 students bid farewell to the alma mater at the school leaving ceremony of the Dominica Community High School held on May 5, 2023. Adisha Burton reports.
The Dominica Community High School class of 2023 celebrated their commencement ceremony under the theme, Strive for Progress, Thrive in Success. Speaking at the commencement ceremony, Minister for Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, Honorable Octavia Alfred, said the ministry has made substantial efforts in preparing students to experience a level of success in life.
Our goal at the Ministry of Education is to ensure that you and those who will follow you will receive adequate preparation and training through quality education to ensure that each of you experience a level of success. The Ministry of Education is committed to your success over the years. And you see all the support programs we've had in our effort to ensure that each child succeeds. School bus, transfer fees, uniform allowance, book scheme, and so many forms of assistance. And we do that through the education system.
Meanwhile, featured speaker of the graduation ceremony, Miss Bertilia Bethel advised graduates about the influence of one's mindset on their success in life.
Striving for progress, it's a mindset. People say progress, do good, but it's a mindset. Unless you haven't changed and put that as a mindset, you'll be stuck in the same gear. According to famous Apostle Joshua Selman, progress is not just about achieving a goal or reaching a destination. It is a mindset that involves constantly improving and growing in every area of your life. Every day, strive to be better than you were yesterday. Whether it is in your academics, personal growth, or relationship, make progress a habit. Keep pushing yourself to learn and grow, and never settle for the average.
Rupert Kirby received awards for Student of the Year, English, Agricultural Science, Caribbean History, and Human and Social Biology. Isaiah Durand received the Tenacity Award and awards for Social Studies, Principles of Business, Commitment, Responsibility, and Deportment. Vijaya Capris, Award for Cooperation and Leadership. Jessica Laurent, Against All Odds Award. Nash Joseph, Awards for Integrated Science and Geography. And Shirkwan Packet, the Award for Sports. Ryle Robinson cupped the awards for Most Improved Student, English and Speech and Drama, Health and Family Life Education. Adisi Burton for the Government Information Service.
The new Festivals and Events Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Mrs. Natalie Walsh, has gotten off to a good start in her new position. Mrs. Walsh, who took up her new responsibilities in March 2023, says it was immediately apparent that there was a lot of hard work involved in promoting Dominica as the destination of choice for potential visitors. Speaking as a guest on Focus on Government and Development recently, Mrs. Walsh said she joined the DDA in the middle of the Yachting Festival, a very busy time for the organization.
As I said, I started with the Yachting Festival, then we went right into the Jazz and Creole Music Festival. But also, it has been very, very rewarding as well. We have a great team at DFC. And I also get a lot of support from our CEO, Mr. Colin Piper, and the Ministry of Tourism. Mm-hmm. Our goal is to take Dominica's entertainment industry to a whole new level. So I'm excited, very, very excited, because we have a lot of different events on the calendar for this year, and I'm just looking forward to hosting many more here in Dominica.
The Discover Dominica Authority has just staged a successful 12th edition of Jazz and Creole, and Mrs. Walsh says the DDA is focused on ensuring that visitors to Dominica experience the uniqueness of the destination.
We strive to make Dominica's festival, firstly a world-class festival. There are many different areas we need to improve on so that can be a world-class festival. But just look at Jazz and Creole festival. The feedback thus far is really, good, and we're getting very, very positive feedback from Jazz and Creole Festival, and we are just looking at, planning for World Creole Music Festival, and we have started, speaking to a number of stakeholders in the industry, we have already started looking at the artists, for World Creole Music Festival in terms of what is required to make it, a world-class festival, and to give, patrons a very good experience, not just the locals, but, persons coming from, the region, persons coming, from the USA, the UK. We really want to give them a first-class experience when they land, on our destination.
Ms. Kimberly King has been Destination Marketing Manager at Discover Dominica Authority for just over a year.
I am responsible for formulating the marketing strategy for Dominica, implementing that strategy, and really evaluating the results of those different marketing campaigns while working with different source market representatives. We have source market representatives in the US, the UK, France, French West Indies, also looking at the Caribbean.
Ms. King noted that coming out of COVID-19, patrons want a very authentic experience, and this makes destination marketing very competitive.
Every destination, every Caribbean island is anting their game. And the only way to really differentiate yourself is by your culture. Dominica's culture is absolutely amazing. That Creole influence, last year for the first time I was able to experience all of October independence celebrations, World Creole Music Festival. And it's really amazing to stand by and look at person's dress, look at the food, listen to the music. And that's something that we need to really sell because it makes Dominica different. And that has to be included in any spiel. It's a pillar strategy, yes, but it has to be included in any talking points, whether it be at a trade show, whether it is we speaking to persons of why they should come to Dominica. The Kalinago community also is something that is pretty up there as that makes Dominica very distinct.
You are watching National Focus. More when we return.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you're going out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand, that's what I think. We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Earthquakes can happen at any time. Know what to do to protect yourself.
The most important thing to do during an earthquake is to stay calm. At the first sign of the earth shaking, if you are in a building, stay inside and away from windows and glass doors.
Drop, cover, and hold on. Drop under a heavy desk or table. Cover your head and torso, and hold on to the furniture.
If you can't get under something strong, cover your face and head with your arms and crouch in an inside corner of the building.
Do not rush for exits. Do not use elevators. A message from the Office of Disaster Management and the partnership between UNDP, CDMA, OCHA, IFRC, and funded by European Union Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid. Prepare Caribbean.
Welcome back. The countdown is on for the anticipated World Creole Music Festival as dates for the 2023 celebrations were announced moments after the conclusion of the 12th edition of Jazz and Creole. Curvia John reports.
Patrons of the World Creole Music Festival are advised to begin early preparations as this year's festival promises to be bigger than ever. Originally launched to promote the Dominican tourism products and create a world-class platform for indigenous Dominican music, the World Creole Music Festival has become a renowned staple on the regional music gala calendar. With 3 nights of entertainment beginning on the final Friday in October each year, patrons are treated to a variety of star power coming from the Caribbean, the French Antilles, Africa, and North America, arranged to attract all generations. Chief Executive Officer of the Discover Dominica Authority, Mr. Colin Piper, says one of the goals of DDA and the Dominica Festivals Committee is to learn from the mistakes of the 2022 edition.
In terms of WCMF 2023, we're going to make sure we look at all the lessons learned from 2022 and make sure that those are in place. Just make sure that we leave no stone unturned. You know, it's to the point now where WCMF is a brand of its own. You know, people come to Dominica because it's World Creole Music Festival, and sometimes they don't even know who's playing. You know, for some people that's important because that's they want to see certain artists. So we have to be mindful of that.
He says that while the festival was first developed to showcase Dominica's culture, steps have been taken over the years to also attract a younger audience.
The festival was put in place to make sure that Dominica's and the Creole culture remained alive and could be exported. And so we cannot lose fact of that. We must continue to have the Creole aspect in the World Creole Music Festival. But we understand that the most popular demographic that is at the festival now is 20s and early 30s. And their music is soca, dancehall, and Afrobeat, which wasn't originally part of the compa, zouk, kadas, bouillon part of things. So we have to educate them and make them appreciate that, and we have to provide them with enough artists that so that they feel like it, you know, they'll have a good time at the show.
Mr. Piper encouraged patrons to book their flights early, as the DDA has put in place new measures to create an overall experience for the WCMF.
We send out posts, you know, save the date, you know, here's a video from last time, and people respond, where's the artist, where's the lineup, where's the lineup? Are you really waiting for the lineup for World Creole Music Festival to buy your ticket? Because if you are, you're missing out on a lot of things. Right? I mean, do you not believe in the World Creole Music Festival and what it has delivered? The VIP, the forecourt experience, the craft vending zone, the food court, all these sorts of things that you cannot commit at this point in time. And every time we put out a post, we get, oh, where's the lineup, where's the lineup? I mean, surely, I believe that we've done a good enough job with the brand that you know what to expect.
The CEO explained that one of the new initiatives that might be implemented this year is the revealing of the lineup in segments.
So what we want is for people, especially Dominicans on the outside, to amplify any positive message about World Creole Music Festival so we can get more people interested to come, right? And we ourselves are trying to get away from the fact that it's like the World Creole Music Festival doesn't exist until the lineup is launched. Right? I think for 20 years we've created that monster, and now we have to figure out because things are different. Sometimes artists don't get back to you at the time that you want to launch the entire lineup. So I think this year you'll probably see 1 or 2 or 3 announced, and then as we get them announced, we continue to fill up the roster. But it's difficult sometimes to get everybody to agree, because sometimes artists are weighing 2 offers and they string you along until they figure out who's the better offer or which one they want to go to.
Mr. Piper told patrons that they should expect a few surprises in the lineup this year, as they aim to bring artists who have never performed in Dominica, as well as some who haven't performed on island for a long period of time.
I would just encourage people to, you know, book their flights, book their hotels, you know, get everything in order, because we're not going to disappoint in terms of we're trying to look at artists who necessarily have not been to Dominica before, because you don't want to see an artist you saw 3, 4, 5 years ago. You want to see something new and different, and this is kind of what we're thinking about. But we're also trying to bring back some who may not have performed for quite a while that were crowd favorites. So we've got some surprises in the mix, and we'll just try to do the best that we can.
The 2022 edition of the World Creole Music Festival featured artists such as Burna Boy, Shenseea, Kes the Band, Sizzler, Dexter Daps, Patrice, Christopher Martin, Asa Banton, Signal Band, Triple K International, Midnight Groovers, the original WCK, and many others. This year's event is scheduled for October 27th to 29th, 2023. Kuvia John for the Government Information Service.
Thank you, Kuvia, for that report. Progress has been recorded on the international airport since the last media tour led by Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. Dominica's international airport project is the biggest contracted project in the country's history. The Dominica International Airport will open up a world of opportunities for socio-economic growth as jobs become available during and after its construction for residents of Wesley and Dominica by extension. The new air cargo capabilities provided by a completed international airport will result in greater export of agricultural produce, including perishable goods, to new markets. Dominica will now be well positioned to expand its export of cut flowers and other fresh produce to both regional and international markets. The international airport is expected to be completed and commissioned by the end of 2026 with a runway length of 2,850 meters, making it possible to handle wide-body aircraft on direct routes to North America, Europe, and key cities in Asia. Some residents had to be relocated during the acquisition of land for this major project. As a result, government, in partnership with MMCE, developed the Joe Burton housing site, where homes were built for displaced residents. Currently, many are already housed at Joe Burton. Meanwhile, others have received compensation for their lands and properties. A lab for the testing of the soil at the airport site has also been completed and is fully equipped. Heavy equipment from China for construction arrived here in March, with more expected as the project progresses. Following a prosperous yearly quarter and recent recognition as one of Time's world's greatest places, Dominica Festivals Commission has released the travel updates for the second yearly quarter from May to August 2023. The DFC's decision to circulate this information on a quarterly basis is to raise awareness of the options available for the increasing number of travelers who plan to visit Dominica. The highlights are as follows. Caribbean Airlines will expand their services to Dominica with the addition of a direct flight from Trinidad to Dominica on Fridays. Air Antilles has added a service between St. Lucia, Dominica, and Guadeloupe to St. Martin. Inter-Caribbean has announced daily flights to Dominica and will operate 17 flights to Dominica weekly from Barbados and St. Lucia. Liat continues to service Dominica through Antigua and Barbados on Thursdays through Mondays. And Silver Airways has increased capacity from a 34-seat aircraft to a 48-seat aircraft and will operate 5 times weekly, with an additional flight arriving on Tuesdays and departing on Wednesdays. That's from May 15 to July 5. If traveling by sea, visitors may connect via L'Express des Îles and Val Ferry. Further details can be accessed from the website of these airlines and ferry services. For more information on Dominica, visit www.discoverdominica.com or explore Dominica on Facebook or Instagram. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.